Hey guys, it's your boy Mark back with another video. Um, Here to talk all spoilers for X-Men Dark Phoenix. And if you guys haven't seen X-Men Dark Phoenix, shut off now. In fact, you know what? Go see the movie because it's doing not the best at the box office right now, and that makes me sad because I'm one of the few people who really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, I really like Dark Phoenix. Go watch my normal thoughts video if you haven't already seen that. Um, because you know that if you have seen that thoughts video, you know that I really liked it. In fact, I loved it much more than most people. And yeah, and come on, guys, this franchise has been a part of our lives for 20 years now. Well, almost 20 years. Like, don't you just wanna just one more time? You know. I hope it makes a little bit more money at least. I know it's been pulled from like 1,000 cinemas, which breaks my heart. But I know it is what it is. But anyway, I'm here to talk all Dark Phoenix spoilers for X-Men Dark Phoenix, the final X-Men film for Fox. So that's a pretty big deal right there, if you ask me. Spoilers. Where to start? It's been several hours since I've seen the film, so my mind might be a little bit thing right now. But yeah. I saw it today. I was excited to see it. The way it started, it was it was the way it started. It was like um, Jean Grey was head of voiceover talking about. I forgot what she was talking about actually, but then it went into her as a little girl riding in parents the back of the parents' car, and she didn't like the music they were listening to, and it was really making her upset. So she inadvertently messed with the music and caused the car crash, killing her own mother by accident, which is sad. And the father became a real asshole, you know. And I could understand why Charles Xavier lied to her about her father because he was a dick. I mean, I might be in the same position as him if it happened to me, but still, he was a dick, man. He didn't come looking for Jean Grey. He was like, you know what, Charles, just take her away, okay? I don't want to see her again. I never got to say goodbye to my wife, stuff like that. And I get it, but that's your daughter, man. Like, come on. And I feel like I might be going into this too early in this spoiler discussion, but when he was like um but when Jean Grey, after the Dark Phoenix Force became inside her, um um after it um and she went to go visit him, it was like she was like all these photos, but none of them are of me, you know. And then that's when she realized, her father was a total asshole. And yeah, and then I don't even know where to start, man. And I was rooting for her to kill him right there. I really was. But anyway, I feel like we should go back into chronological order now. Um, so after that was a thing on Facebook. I was just posting about how amazing my day was. Oh man, I'll pause this recording, then message my guy who was asking me how it was. So when Charles Xavier had recruited her, Jean Grey, as a kid, and said you never have to be weak or whatever ever again. And then, oh man, I loved the main titles. The way that the main titles came up, it was so badass. But it was a little bit creepy at the same time, but I love that. And then, what happened after that? And then we go on to present day. Well, not present day. We go to 1992. Before I was even born. Yeah, I wasn't even born, and I wasn't even alive in 1992. I wasn't alive for another 6 years. But it was like NASA. A bunch of the astronauts got in trouble in space, and they got the X-Men to help them out, and then that's when they came in. And the X-Men saved them all. There was one guy left that they didn't want to risk it for. They didn't want to risk their lives for. But then Charles Xavier, and I love that he said this, was like, no, we don't leave anyone behind, no matter what. And they went to try and save that guy. And then after saving that guy, Jean Grey got caught in the blast. The Phoenix Force. And they thought she was done, man. Even like the government was ready to give their condolences. But no, Jean Grey survived. And they got her back. And she was feeling good, And that was cool. And then like everyone was all happy-go-lucky. Everyone was like celebrating that they did it, that they saved like the astronauts, And in this time, humanity loves the X-Men. Okay, they've been saving their lives, and even Mystique was like, oh, you love all this attention and all this glamour and all this celebrityness, don't you, Charles? And he's like, as opposed to what they used to think of us? Yeah, I do. And I feel like that's totally valid, honestly. And then, of course, she did that cringy SJW pandering line. Maybe this should be called X-Women. No. I love you, Jennifer Lawrence, more than most people do. But no. No with that line. Just no. Okay, it wasn't your fault. Wasn't your fault. But, and then, what happened after that? Then I think they went partying, celebrating, and Jean Grey was thirsty as heck. And then she accidentally unleashed some of that Phoenix powers, then knocked herself out, and then Charles tried to read her mind, but he couldn't. Well, he could, but it was getting more powerful and harder for him to do that, So it kind of, I guess he kind of got kicked out in a way, and and then when Jean saw what she did by accident to Scott, she was like, "Did I do that?" And she just felt so guilty and stuff, And this is when she decided she wanted to see her father. And then it was like, then everyone thought, wait, no, your father's dead, because this was the lie that Charles told, and it was out of love. It was out of love. And this is what Jean Grey like got later on in the film. And so they decide to go after her, and after she has that talk with her asshole father, the X-Men arrive, and they're like, and then Charles is like, I'm not asking you this favor as X-Men. Like, this is us for real. Like, for real. And she didn't want Storm to risk her life, but Storm was like, nah, I want to help out. Or actually, Cyclops was like, yeah, no, we need you. Like, and then Charles was like, because didn't want to risk kind of didn't want to risk as many lives as possible. Actually, maybe that was later on in the movie that this happened. Actually, yeah, it was. Man, okay, my mind's a little bit jumbled, I know, for what exact scenes happened when. But, I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. Trying my best. Um, what else was I saying? um, and then, yeah, they all have a fight with, Jean Grey, Quicksilver and stuff. And, I don't think Quicksilver got his, scene, that special scene he had in Apocalypse and Days of Future Past in this film. He had a couple slow motion scenes, but it wasn't like a music fun one. You know what I mean? But he was still cool in this film. He wasn't into much. I just realized that. But for what he had, he was cool. And yeah, I still liked his role in it. And then they all fight Jean Grey. And what else happened? Oh yeah, and then Mystique dies. Yeah, Mystique dies. Accidentally gets impaled by these giant splinters by Jean Grey, and then she feels so guilty, and then she flies off. Oh man, I really like the scene. Everyone's crying over Raven Mystique. There's a funeral for her. And Charles is trying to be all good. Having a chat with Hank, Hank who was upset more than anybody about Mystique's death. And man, the way he yelled at Charles and smashing up the alcohol bottle and stuff. And then Charles was like, I hope that made you feel better. And wow, I can understand the blame towards Charles, but dang, still a human being, you're putting this guilt on somebody, you know. And yeah, I get that that he said it was Charles's fault for Mystique's death, but you know, and then we see Jean Grey. She's in the rain by herself, scared about what's become of her powers and stuff, her new powers, and then she goes into hiding and stuff, and then what else happened? Oh yeah, and then oh yeah, what was her name? Was it Vuck or something? Not Jennifer, Jessica Chastain's character, um, was part of another alien race or something, an alien race, who's after the Dark Phoenix power, comes to visit, Jean Grey, who was disguised as an old man at the bar, and then saying, I know about your powers and stuff, you can't read my mind like you can read everyone else's, and, then she recruits her, you know, and I'm trying to remember what happened. I've only seen the movie once, guys, and that was a couple hours ago. I feel like I've done good so far. Let's see. All right. But so before she met with Jessica Chastain, Vuck. Um, she went to see Magneto. Yeah, for help because she knows she wasn't trying to guilt trip him. She was telling Magneto, "You hurt people, you killed people," and he's like, "Yes, yeah, but it was a long time ago. I was always filled with vengeance." And the way it's not like she wasn't trying to guilt trip him. She was trying to, get help. Like, how did you deal with this? How did you stop it? And then that's what he said. No matter what I did, I just wouldn't ever feel better, so I stopped. And then the military people came to the military people came to um, that area, and then they're like, we're looking for a girl, we're looking for Jean Grey, and then Eric is like, Magneto, is like, she's not here. We have every right to live here. I don't know nothing about no Jean Grey, stuff like that. And then the guy is like, look, I don't want to fight. And I can see where both him, I like this soldier guy, by the way. I can see where both him and Eric are coming from, you know? And then, like, the helicopter thingamajigs start whirring, and then he's telling Magneto to stop it, but he's like, it's not me. And then Jean Grey comes in, she's like, it's me. And then she destroys one of the helicopters, and then she tries to destroy the other helicopter, but Magneto holds it together, like with his own powers, and telling everyone to get in, saying he can't hold it much longer, hold the helicopter much longer. And then he's like, get in, I can't hold it much longer. And then once all the remaining living military people were there, he freaking went away from Jean Grey so that they would all be safe. And then Eric told her to leave, and I understand why. Oh yeah, whose blood is that? I was actually hoping for I don't even remember Magneto having that big of a connection with Mystique, honestly. Um, then again, I haven't watched the other X-Men films in a while. So Eric and then Eric kicks her out. Um, and then Hank by himself visits Eric later, saying so you didn't know that she killed Raven. And then this makes Magneto like really freaking like emotional, and he can't believe that. And then he wants revenge on Jean. He wants to kill Jean, and Hank wants to do it with him. And I was like, wait a minute, are you guys serious right now? Like, this is still your Jean you're talking about. Like, dang. And and this is when like the start of the final act begins, I guess. Then the X-Men come to you know um what am I trying to say? They come to New York to because Eric's trying to kill Jean along with his Brotherhood of Mutants and Hank. Uh, but the X-Men back at home, feel like they got to stop this, so they go out and Eric fails in trying to kill Jean. Jean freaking crushes his helmet, then sends him flying. And I thought Magneto was dead on here, honestly. Got some awesome fighting in the streets of New York. I love that, man. And then Charles, along with Cyclops, entered the building. Then Jean attacked Charles, and this I know it wasn't intended to be funny, but it actually cracked me up so much when Jane was like telepathically making Charles quote unquote walk, and then she crushed his wheelchair, and then with her mind she made him quote unquote walk up the stairs to him. That cracked me up, to be honest, because he looked so stupid, you know. That was actually really funny, and he was like, "Please stop, Jane," and then and then and then Charles was asking Jean to like read his memories, and this allowed her personality to resurface. And now she feels bad, and then she asked Vuk to because Jean doesn't want the powers. She asked Vuk, you can have them. All right, they're yours. And then she did it. She was taking the powers, and then Charles realized, no, she's going to use this power for evil. So he feels he has to stop Jean. He tells Jean to stop. But then this is when Scott comes in, and then freaking and then um stops the power from completely getting transferred. And I thought it interrupted the whole she gets the powers thing, but no, it only stopped it. It only cut it off from that point. You know, it's not like when you're burning a CD and then you suddenly take it out and now everything's gone. Probably, I don't even know if I can make it make sense. But yeah, she's still got some of that power. Jean still has most of it. Uh, then they all get captured by the military, and then this is when all of Vuk's people come in and stuff, and and um and yeah, and then like the X-Men are like, you better set us free because you got no chance against these guys. And that was true. And then this is the final act I was talking about in my movie thoughts video of Dark Phoenix, like where it felt like this was something that was in the middle of the film. Then I eventually realized it was something that was in the film in the actual final act, and I was like, oh wait, it is. You know what I mean? And they all fight. A whole bunch of Vux people die, and then they're all fighting, and then Vuk and Jean Grey, Vuk's trying to get the rest of the power, and then but Jean Grey's doing it against her, and then Vuk says, if you kill me, you'll kill them, and then she stops, and this causes Vuk to try and take the power still, saying you're weak, you're too emotional, and then like a badass, Jean flies herself up to outer space with Vuk, and then with her powers, kills both Vuk as well as herself. Well, she kind of killed herself. They didn't really make it clear whether she died or not, but yeah, Jean went out a hero, and I love that. I love that. If you're gonna do Dark Phoenix, that Jean's gonna die with these Dark Phoenix movies, and it's so sad. I remember seeing Dark Phoenix not Dark Phoenix, X-Men: The Last Stand as a kid in cinemas when I was like 7 years old, and I love that movie. I still love that movie, and I love that scene where Wolverine has to kill Jean. It was so powerful. It was so emotional, man. Like I imagine I would be like that too if I had to kill the woman I love, But yeah, you know what I mean. But this time, Jean did it herself. She was the main character of this movie. Period. Full stop. Bar none. And yeah, she went out a hero. And then this was the way it ended that I was talking about. How they're all celebrating Jean. They rename it to they rename the Charles Xavier School to the Jean Grey School for Gifted Youngsters. Hank becomes the new dean. Xavier retires, and this is like the callback to the first X-Men I was talking about, when Charles and Eric play a game of chess, and in the sky, Flaming Phoenix appears. That's Jean. And then it says, written and directed by Simon Kinberg, whatever his name is. I liked your film, by the way, my man. Don't be too hard on yourself, man. Come on. It was good. I liked it a lot. Much more than most people do. And yeah. So yeah, that was no post credit scene, no Logan as Wolverine, no Stan Lee cameo, which is understandable and all. But yeah, that's it for the Fox X-Men franchise. I'm gonna miss this franchise. Can't wait for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to have X-Men. That's gonna be in like 5 years, but I'm still excited nonetheless. So that was my spoiler discussion for X-Men Dark Phoenix, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Um, I really love making this video. I really love Dark Phoenix a lot more than most people do. And yeah, that's it for Fox X-Men. So thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.